Going on, everybody? It's Key Time coming back with another video to talk about the NFL Week 6 games. We had a lot of upsets in Week 6. Now, before I get into this video, I want to talk about the 49ers. The 49ers, they have a lot of injuries coming out of the Cleveland Browns game. They have Deebo Samuel hurt, their offensive lineman is hurt, and Christian McCaffrey is hurt. Now, we seen what the Browns did versus the 49ers in in uh, in confusing Brock Purdy and confusing the offensive line. Brock Purdy, he's a good quarterback. He just had an off day. He just had an off day. That's all. With the 49ers, when you have 10 penalties, and most of them penalties, they were suspect penalties. When you have 10 penalties on the 49ers, three of those penalties I didn't agree. That call late in the fourth quarter, saying that it was helmet to helmet, but the guy led with the shoulder, that shouldn't have been called. The 49ers really should have won this game, but them calls was beneficial to the Browns, and that's what made the Browns win. Even on the potential game-winning field goal for the 49ers, they called a flag on the 49ers for movement, which it was no movement. So the 49ers, hey, that this their first game that they lost. Hey, they still a pretty good team. They have a really favorable schedule coming up, especially since they have the Minnesota Vikings next, and that team is struggling. So the 49ers, they are going to be okay. The next team, who also lost Sunday, was the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, they haven't been as dominant as last year. The offense hasn't took over games like they did last year. In this season, the Eagles, they've only had games where they have been leading in the fourth quarter only 3 times in this season. Last year, when they had the lead going into the fourth quarter, they ended up winning the game. They had the lead versus the Jets going into the fourth quarter and lost. That was struggling offense. The offense was struggling. The defense was struggling. And I got to give credit to the Jets defense. The Jets defense, they hobbled with injuries, but they came together on Sunday and won that game for the Jets. The defense is a 10 out of 10 for the Jets. If they get consistent quarterback play with Zach Wilson, they may have something. But who knows? The next team I want to talk about is the Bengals. Now, they won a tight game. I believe that this is they turning the corner. 2-game winning streak, even though that win last week was against the Cardinals. I believe the Bengals, they are turning the corner at the right time. The offense is starting to click. The defense is starting to show up. And the special teams, they doing their job. The next team I want to talk about is the Miami Dolphins. What can you say about them? They hitting on all cylinders. They scored 42 points versus the Panthers. I had them winning. I believe that this team is probably the greatest offense in NFL history. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that. You can book me saying that right here. The 2023 Miami Dolphins are the greatest offense in NFL history, bar none. And the Dolphins, they have a favorable schedule coming up, so they might go on a winning streak here, about maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 games. But I believe that the Dolphins, they are the best team in the AFC East. They the best team in the AFC East. Now I know the Buffalo Bills, you still have them. The Jets, if that defense keep playing consistently like the way they did on Sunday, they may have something to say about that. The next team I want to talk about is the Jaguars. The Jaguars, they had a great showing Sunday, albeit versus the Colts. But this is 3 straight games that they have won. First time since last year. Since they won 7 out of the last 9 games. I believe that the offense is coming together. Pete Taylor, he called a good game. He called a good game versus the Colts. Now, can he do that on a consistent basis? It remains to be seen. Now, I heard some injuries on Trevor Lawrence. We don't know if he's going to be able to suit up for Thursday, but hopefully he does, because they play the Saints Thursday. The next team I'm going to talk about is the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, they are in unfamiliar territory. They have been in this situation. They've never been in this situation. 1-5, possibly with the schedule that you have. The next 2 games you have the Dolphins and the Bills. You're gonna be 1-7. So start looking for a draft pick. That's what the Patriots need to do. And Bill Belichick, he may be on the hot seat after this season. He may be on the hot seat before Thanksgiving. I believe he is on the hot seat right now as we speak, because the offense is terrible. I'm gonna give y'all the offensive stats for the Patriots. 32nd in total offense, averaging 11 points a game, 250 yards total a game, and their third down offense is the worst offense in the NFL. And that is why, if it wasn't for the New York Jets, they would be 0-6. They would be in the same boat as the Panthers. So what is going on in New England right now? We should have seen this coming a mile away. When you don't have the proper personnel intact, you are going to experience exactly what the Patriots are experiencing. Matt Jones, he was a good quarterback coming out of college. They don't have the right offensive coordinator for him. Bill O'Brien, I've never been too fond of him as an offensive play caller. His play calling is just so elementary, so bland, so run, and then a pass, and then, hey, I may throw a few passes here and all of that. But Bill O'Brien, he doesn't expand his playbook at all. He doesn't. That's why he's a bad offensive coordinator. He is. So the Patriots, they need a new offensive coordinator. They need somebody to come in there and expand that playbook, because what they doing right now, they ain't doing nothing. Only averaging 11 points a game. That is inexcusable. That is putrid. That is disgraceful. The next team I want to talk about is the Detroit Lions. This is the first time the Detroit Lions have been 5-1 since 2011, and this is the first time since 1993 that the Detroit Lions have at least a 2-game lead on everybody in their division. Now, is Detroit the real deal? I have to say yes, because after what they've shown over these first 6 games, they the real deal. They are going to the playoffs, And I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the divisional round. So the sky's the limit for the Detroit Lions. Now the last team I want to get into, saving the best for last, my Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, they won a tight one last night. Boy, that was one that we really needed. So they did a pretty good job. Defense did a excellent job. Now the offense, Mike McCarthy, I got something that I need to talk to you. Why are we running up the middle 3 straight times and ain't getting no yards? You got Brandon Cook. You got Michael Gallup. You got CD Lamb. Use them wide receivers. And you got Tony Pollard out the backfield. The Dallas Cowboys, they need to work on their running game. And they need to expand the playbook more. Mike McCarthy, give the offensive play calling duties to Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer, he has a history of improving offenses in the NFL. He did it with the Jets. He did it with the Rams. He did it with the he also did it with the Colts. So this guy has a history of improving offenses. So give up the play calling duties to Brian Schottenheimer and let Brian Schottenheimer call the plays throughout the game instead of you calling the plays and then Brian Schottenheimer relaying the plays to Dak. I believe that Brian Schottenheimer, he should have been the offensive coordinator from the start of the season, because the same thing with Bill O'Brien, that's the same thing Mike McCarthy is going through. Don't know how to expand the playbook. It's just like for a drive for 3 plays, it's run, pass, and then if we don't get that pass on 3rd down, he'll go a punt. That I've seen that a lot last night. We need to diversify the offense and get the running backs more involved. Get Tony Pollard more involved. And where is Deuce Vaughn? I haven't seen him since the preseason. Put Deuce Vaughn in the game and let that man run like you know he can run. And another thing, Dak Prescott, he played a good game. 21 of 30, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, 1 running touchdown, and most importantly, 0 interceptions. That is the type of stat line that he needs to have every game. He needs to be consistent every game. He protected the ball. He was very cautious. He didn't fit it in the tight windows like he usually do. This was a game that the Cowboys can build off of, and hopefully, when they get to the playoffs, he can play like this in the playoffs. We need this. Me and all the Cowboys fans, we are happy with what we seen last night. So, Cowboys Nation, stand up, rise up. We going into the bye week this week, 4-2, a game out of first place. How about them Cowboys? And please like, comment, share, subscribe. And remember, the key is always on time.